Monday at 5:30, April 1st, 2024 to order. Candace, invitation, please.
Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. We ask that you guide the council in helping to make the best decisions for the community. We thank you for your resurrection that we celebrated yesterday, but we ask that you help us to remember it each and every day. Keep us all safe in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 1, noise ordinance.
As far as I know, we don't have one, except for what the county, I think, has is 10 or 11 o'clock. Someone called, a citizen called, I said that I would bring it up to y'all. During the day, I guess, also on Church Street, she's having a lot of noise that's just being disruptive, she said. And she cannot come to a meeting, so I just told her that I would bring it forward. I don't believe we have anything other than just the county.
What part of Church Street?
We're all kind of close to where Pompey and Church meet, right in there.
Is it vehicle or radios?
I think it's radio.
Not mufflers.
Yeah, I think it's radios.
We don't
Well,
have,
Pompey and what? Who lives there? There's no house.
In the woods there is on the other side, you know.
Oh, way back up.
Yes, ma'am.
That's way back there, though.
Yes, ma'am. So
I know where you're talking about. You have to get off and go back up here.
Yes, ma'am. You have to go pretty far back up in the drive there. But it's daytime, and I don't know if y'all
Radio.
want to do something with that or not. I just said I would bring it to the
I
council.
know the county has
No, it's
10 o'clock that the law has enforced here in Vernon before, but I'm not aware that the city has one.
the city must have adopted the county at one time. When Vic opened the oyster bar down there, I know that it was brought up, the ordinance, and a certain length about staying open, you know, people playing.
But it's not daytime. It doesn't cover daytime hours, correct?
I remember the Patrick girls. Remember when
They brought it up.
they brought it up to us too.
They can cover it all hours. Wouldn't you?
I mean, during the day, you would expect things like construction noise.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you did anything back.
I don't know if we could do
I
anything
didn't,
about that time.
I never heard
my
one of these.
records for y'all, I didn't have anything about noise ordinance in my records, so. That's all
Like I
could
said, I
tell you
know
about
that the sheriff's department enforces the counties. I believe it's 10 o'clock
At night,
at night, but nothing during the day. I don't know that anybody has anything
during
during
the
the day.
day. Well, because
It
people
would
cut
be
their
hard to-
lawns and all that stuff, you know, they're done construction work. There's a lot of noise during the day that people are working. I don't see where we can enforce it. Can
We had to revise our ordinance in Chipley maybe a year ago, maybe a little longer. We had someone challenge the existing ordinance on the basis that it was too subjective, and so we had to revise it. And our law enforcement officers had to get decibel meters,
Yeah.
and that's the only way that we could really enforce our noise ordinances, that the officer has to go out and measure the sound with a decibel meter. I don't see anybody from the sheriff's office here tonight. I don't even know if the sheriff's office carries decibel meters.
It'd be tough to enforce, really tough.
I know that they have come out after 10 on complaints, but as far as if they have a meter or not, I don't know.
So daytime. So just tell her there's nothing for daytime. If it's too bad, she needs to call the sheriff's department.
That's what I've done over there when Jerry Winfrey lived over by me. They've always come out. Finally got him a fence in. Then I had to deal with it another way.
Isn't there a state ordinance
For vehicles,
for music? 25 feet away, if it's, you can clearly understand what's being said in the music,
Yeah, I don't,
then it's against the Florida ordinance.
I don't remember the specifics, but there's, the state
Yeah, I understand
does
that.
have vehicles.
I guarantee you stand at the end of this room and it's more than 25 feet and I can hear every one of you talking. That's well over, what, 70 feet?
What's your recommendation?
Do you wanna look at implementing a noise ordinance? I can bring some samples to you at the meeting,
Okay.
get with the sheriff's office and see if they have decibel meters.
For nighttime,
Well, I mean, you can put all kinds of limitations on sound. It doesn't have to be just in the evening.
Anybody else have anything on that? All right, number 2, gym updates.
All I have, I'm not sure if Jason, have you had a chance? I know that the
So,
entire back room
I
has
went
to
out
be
there.
upgraded.
Alright, he's got we're talking about weight room, right? So he's got the front side painted, the right side of it painted, the left side's not painted. There's about 60 feet of wood. There used to be windows on that gym side. There used to be windows that went all the way down there, so they put wood up. I don't know, that's been there before him. So all that wood is starting to rot away. Them gutters, there's 3 gutters busted. It's caused that wood to kind of rot away. It needs to be redone. And then that whole side needs to be painted. And there's 1 window still busted down on the back of it. And then the inside part, that whole back room needs to be done. It's not done, but the front's done. I told him we had a meeting. I talked to him and told him we had a meeting, but I guess he's coming.
And I think inside the back room, it was painting, scraping and
Yeah.
painting
The
and
bathroom is done.
flooring.
He's got it done, but besides that, that's the outside part.
That's a separate room.
Yeah,
that the bathroom's in.
The bathroom is, you gotta get to, you used to have to get to it from the outside, but he walled it up, I mean, he done it right, and then you have to go to it, it's a whole separate room, but you have to get to the inside though.
But that's the only part of that back room that he's actually using is the
Bathroom,
facilities.
basically, yeah. I mean, the rest of it, he's got stuff stored in there. I don't know what he's gonna do with it. I asked him, but he never really said.
He said he had somebody come in to renovate the back room next week, but, it's gotta be scraped, painted, floors,
Yeah.
and lights, I think he said, and then a window or 2, what you were
Basically
saying.
gutted.
So he's having that done?
Well, he had planned on it, he's had it planned, but I told him we were having a meeting tonight to talk about the lease, so I don't know that he will still.
Tim Newsom's looking at power. I don't know, he's sick, pretty sick this morning. I talked to him, but he is looking at it, separating.
Who is that?
Tim Newsom.
So you have a list of stuff, Jason, that he needs to get done?
Yeah, I just went out there and walked around and looked at it, all the stuff that needs to be done. He knows that, I mean, me and him talked about it. I told him the meeting was tonight, and then, he said he was on, he asked, I told him, he said he was gonna get a hold of Gary or Candace one, but I don't know if he called either one of them. I guess Candace.
I did talk to him, but, the back room is what he said that he had planned on having somebody was supposed to start on that, I think, next week. So that's just more money he's putting into it as far as when y'all come up with a price. I'm thinking it's $5,000 to $10,000 worth of stuff still to be done myself. Would you say, Jason?
Yeah, easily.
And that's not counting the electrical.
And we know, Candace reported to us before about the taxes on just that one. As of now, what it would be.
I think it was around 215, I think. I didn't bring that in here with me, but I think that's what it was.
Well, then maybe you should get an estimate on how much it's gonna cost
That's probably.
before he do
yeah.
anything. You know,
It's
Like
a
we
lot
wanted,
that
maybe we
needs to
do
be
it
done.
ourselves.
I mean, it really is,
because we just not gonna take his word for it.
yeah. I mean, if I was him, I would've kept receipts, everything, I mean,
That's
I
what I'm
don't know
saying.
if he has
You
or
know,
not,
you
but I
come
mean,
and
that's
saying
a lot
what
of
you
dollars.
spent, we don't know for a fact that you spent that.
I know we asked previously,
I think so.
and he said it was, a lot of it was given and
Yeah.
donated and volunteer work, so I don't know how we're supposed to
You don't
I
have a,
don't know
separate that.
what y'all discussed since I was here.
We're still just trying to come up with a
Yeah.
price on
that's
a
what,
lease agreement.
I do know he's been asking for help, more or less like volunteers, you know, for not paying so much out of his pocket. I've seen different
Yeah,
things on Facebook where he's asked for help from people. And that's what's taking so long, because, you know, you just can't find people to come volunteer, especially, you know, the type of work he needs done out there. So I don't know, I hadn't been out there. You know, I guess what the city needs to do is, you know, is send someone out there, get an estimate about it, and go from there, because, you know, if it's gonna cost, you know, $15,000-$20,000, and it sounds like it is on the low end, by the time he separates the power off, you know, the council won't be in a big decision what comes up for his price wise. You know, we give him a break to start off with. From day one, he's had a break, you know, and we ate it. That's all to it. I don't know how long he's been out there. He's been out there.
over you.
Over a year, I know. So, and none of us knows what it's costed the city or power or anything. So, yeah, it's a business. He's making money. So the city needs to sit down and figure out, you know, how to justify, you know, what we stand for renting the stuff to it. Because the city needs to fork out, you know, $10,000 to $15,000 to get it up to par. We need to look at, you know, does the city want to spend $15,000-$20,000 to get it up to par, the building?
But how is he operating out there now if it's not up to par?
Well, because we gave him,
I know.
yeah. The front part he's using is not, I mean, it ain't gold gym, but I mean,
yeah,
it's,
well, he's been in operation. Matter of fact, he was in operation before any of us really knew
Knew
it.
about it.
Yeah.
But he was given the opportunity to go in there and fix it up, and he hasn't paid the city anything at all. And we did the contract for a year, I think.
Mhm.
That's been up.
In January, probably around January.
Yeah, we're going to decide on an amount in January
yeah.
of
Yeah.
this year.
And we still haven't, we haven't had the information on the power. The only thing that he is paying for now, and that's been in the last, I wanna say,
Water.
4 to 6 months, is the water.
He does this water, sewer, and garbage.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming he's got the insurance out there, which,
So but we wanna get estimates on the cost to fix it. I know he's using the front building, but I think the thing is, if he's going to pay for the square footage of the whole building, he wants to be able to use the whole building.
well, the way it's set up with him using the bathroom and the other part, that's gonna have to be included too in the price.
So I can call around and see if I can get anybody to do some estimates on it. Okay.
So we want to do the whole building?
Well, he's already done the front and the
Yeah,
bathroom.
in the back.
Just the back, I think, and then the outside parts that Jason was talking about.
Yeah.
But he's wanting the whole building,
Yeah,
so, yeah, the whole building.
Well, it's like the attorney told us before, the reason for all this is because once we do the lease, then the city's responsible for the upkeep of the building.
Because you can't even access that back building from the outside no more.
No, it's all basically just
It's
one.
all one building basically now.
So the lease is gonna have to include what used to be both rooms, the entire thing.
The whole building.
I'll try, hopefully I can have some estimates by the next meeting.
Does anybody else have anything on that? Number 3, the grant update.
On the Safer grant, I just started working on that Thursday, and, I talked to the city, to the county grant person also, and she's gonna help me if I have any problems on that. We've got about 3 weeks to get that turned in. They open it up for like a month every year. And that, we're gonna request for 2, full-time, daytime firefighters. That would be paid.
Also, and I know he's not here, I spoke with, the fire chief last
He
week.
sent Jason. Jason's here
Okay.
on his behalf.
I spoke with him and he was telling me that while this is being worked on, he's also, spoke with, a couple out of Bay County that might be willing to come during the day for 8 hours. He's supposed to be getting back with them on a price per hour.
Okay. But anyway, that's all I have on that. I'm just letting y'all know we've got about 3 weeks to get it done.
Do you have anything since we're talking about fire department?
We got a couple frame meetings coming up, other than that.
Okay. All right, does anybody else have anything on that? Number 4, city occupation license.
That's gonna be the Smiths.
Is that Smiths? Okay, you're right here.
Do I just stand up right here? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we're here today because we don't feel that we're being treated as the other people in the community. We have came in and requested to get a business license for kayaking and have been told no because we are in the city limits and we have for a residential property. And I've spoke with Candace, who then spoke with the attorney, and they basically said we just have to get a hold of a different department. My problem with it is Candace was wonderful and helped me look up the other licenses. The other kayak place has the exact same residential property in the city limits. She was under the impression that they were outside of the city limits, and I went to the tax collector's office and I have printed out some papers if you guys want to see them, but it's basically, you know, it's Canoe, and we have nothing against this. It's just we want to be treated just like everybody else who got a license. Canoe Adventures with their address of 3342 Rutschett Avenue. And so then I have the printout showing the lot that their little canoe rental place is, where they got their business license and their address. The tax collector printed me out a form with their address showing, you know, that they are city limits, tax code 3 with their parcel number, and everything matches up. And then there's another printout on here showing the parcel number, Vernon 3 tax for the city, the county, I'm sorry, up in Washington and Shipley. The guy says that's what code 3 is for the city limits of Vernon. And then it shows land use below it saying vacant residential. And then I have a printout of ours with our parcel number, and it's the same exact thing, city of Vernon, code 3, vacant property residential. But we've been denied, but they've been approved since February. And we've been told, you know, so I don't know if you guys want this, but we're just requesting to be treated like the other business in town who was given a business license.
And our neighbor had a.
Yeah, and our neighbor also was given one, like 4 houses down.
2 years, 3 years
Yeah,
ago.
but the guy got one in February, and he's the exact same scenario as us, but we've been denied, so. We just,
So I think I should not have issued the one to Canoe Adventures without them going to the planning department, basically is what, Michelle has said that they would need to go to planning, but I didn't even remember it, but when I went back through it, I had to go through all the papers, and I found it, they got it, I gave it to them back in February.
I would've thought where his
They
committee-
show outside the city, you know, but she's,
Aren't they outside the city limits?
well, it
No.
looks like it.
That's
It
not-
looks
it's
like it if
just
you're
a
driving
sign.
by because the city limit sign is right
Yeah.
here and then their property is right
They're
here.
there, that's what I'm saying.
but legally they're in the city limits, the property is zoned in the city limits, they pay taxes for being in, it's all zoned.
Plus our neighbor on
Yeah.
Traverse had a kayaking business
For
for
years,
15 years.
and she had a business license. I
She had a
think, and
business
hers-
license.
Hers is residential, so it's something that's been being given for multiple years on end, but then when we wanted one, we're the only ones that I feel that have been told no. And
Yeah, we're
Where's
the,
your business? Where-
We are at the end of Traverse. We own all the property when you get to the end, dead ends into all of our
25
property.
acres we have down there.
Yeah. We have 4 different deeds down there. We bought, I don't know if you're familiar with Coach Todd's old property. We bought all his property.
What are y'all gonna do down there, just canoes?
Yeah, well, kayaks too. Yeah. And pretty much just, we have a lot of teenagers, and we started out like, just letting the kids free range. Well, then you catch them dragging and stuff, and I'm like, all these kids are seniors and juniors. There's no reason why they can't throw us $10 every time they drag a canoe out, so it gives us extra money to, do stuff with.
Grass.
But then, he's like, well, we need to,
Board.
make sure that's legit. So,
Recommendation?
One,
I recommended to Candace that she defer to the council on this. They're not entitled to a business license. Just because you've issued one in error in the past doesn't make them entitled to receive one. But ultimately, this is a decision for the council to make.
Well, your last recommendation when this first came up was that those type businesses needed to go through planning when they were in residential areas.
They need a land use change.
I did find out that we can send a letter to planning and zoning, and they can send code to look and see if it needs to be done. In other words, the county's code person,
Yes.
which is Janet, would come out and then have a recommendation back for us. And we would have to pay her to come out and do it, just like, because she gets paid by the hour, or that might be a salary, but anyway, so much. But, and the other property also, because I didn't realize the issue there.
Well, on the
But
property
we
that
can
was
use
done-
we can use county code if we send a letter to planning and zoning.
Michelle, do you recommend that?
This is totally up to you all.
Well, I think we need to sort it out one way or the other, so I think maybe we do need to get them involved.
Yeah, 'cause it's been a year that when we came in and we asked before any other businesses in the community asked. And
Well,
then here we are getting blacklisted.
If we go ahead and do that, then we can use county code, and then in the event that another business comes up like this, we won't have to keep going back and forth about it, we'll know.
I had to get I don't know if they rezoned mine for what I do around here, but I did come to the council. Can't remember if they wrote a letter to up there or not.
can I say one more thing? I know that she was going through looking for the other rentals when I was asking for it, and she had, just kind of like when you're reading off things, she had actually said some things just out loud as she was looking that made me come to realization, and I started doing some research, but it does appear different types of businesses. There's lots of them that are being given city permits in their residential where people are going to their properties, not just like a person who works from home on the computer. There's other places that are residential. So I mean, like, it's almost like if we're denied, then the whole book needs to be looked through, because there's multiple people that are getting business licenses that have a residential property.
Most of the ones that I'm talking about were people that, like an electrical business that's just going to work in the city limits. that, and going to a home
Yeah.
to do a job at a city limit, so they have to have an occupational license to go to that house. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
But then there's some like hair salons and stuff like that, that their property's still residential.
Under the
In the
county
book.
code, there are home-based businesses that are permitted. I don't know that this qualifies as a home-based business.
The county did tell us that we were good to go through that. It's just we had to get through Vernon.
Which part of the county?
When I went into where they used to have the voters booth area and they've changed it over, they explained to us that they do not regulate kayak and canoe companies. We were good to go. Everything just had to be done through Vernon. They do not regulate it.
You know
That's
which
what
office
Washington
it's
County said when we went to go get like a county business license, you know? Because when we had our thrift store in Tennessee, we had to have a city license and a county license. So that's like the first thing I did was went to the county, and she told me that they didn't regulate.
Okay,
Well,
y'all, you've
I'm
not
under
been to
the
planning or
impression
zoning
that they
about
have
I'm
to
sorry,
go
what?
to the planning commission.
Yeah, so I think we're talking about two different things. The
Okay.
county doesn't issue occupational licenses the way the city does, but there are still land use regulations that would apply. And that's the issue, is the land use regulation. So the county is wanting the city to tell the county that you are okay with this business operating on residentially classified land.
I also spoke with the land zoning where Candace had told me to contact them, and they said that our property was actually more qualified to be a kayak rental because we were on the river and considered agricultural because we're a river property, is what she said. And she sent me an email, but because she was going to send something saying, you know, you're just good to go, but the next person she talked to said that, you know, everything had to be approved through you guys. But yeah, land, they did say that we were agricultural, and that, so she said, your property's more qualified to be a kayak rental than the people on the highway, is what she did say when I
But your property's not agricultural, it's
It is.
residential.
It is agricultural. I didn't even know it until she told me.
I
Yeah.
thought you just said in the paperwork yours was the same.
Residential, we have multiple different pieces of property.
There's four of them.
deeds. So pretty much whatever deed we gotta use, we have 4 different, I mean, we have one with a mobile home on it, we have one that's agricultural for it, and then all of them can be separate. We can put the kayak thing wherever it needs to go, you know? Kayaks are portable. So if they need to get them from over here on this part of the property to us, we don't care where we set up at.
Yeah, we can use
Yeah.
any deed,
Yeah.
whatever
We can
makes
move.
you guys feel.
You guys are like,
good.
that's okay,
But our
it'll be on
neighbor-
that side of the property. If it needs to be like this,
our
it'll be
neighbor
over
was
here on
renting.
this side. Whatever qualifies, we can be portable and make it be on that part of the property, because the deeds are all separate. So, and we just want to qualify, and, you know? So I'm like, it doesn't matter where on the property we put it, you know, just wherever you guys approve it.
We need to get under some pattern and stick to it. That's up to the council.
Well, I say, for my part, to get all this squared away, get Candace do what you said and get with planning and zoning and get her to come out. That's,
And then they can look at the other place also.
and say whether or not,
They're in compliance.
yeah,
If he's not, he needs to go to zoning, you know, bring him into
yeah.
compliance.
And I know you brought up several times about somebody else getting a license. I can tell you that all the licenses that are sent out of the office for years haven't come before this board. It's been a generalized, so nobody's trying to blacklist anybody.
She
It's
told me
just-
outside to just walk up here and
Yeah, the neighbor ladies, when told us just to walk in, they give it to us, but that's when she said, you know, we had to ask you guys, and that's why we came here. Because we were told, no, she wasn't. I mean,
And so now that we have
I'm not
agricultural
saying that she
land,
did it,
I
it's
know
just
vacant
my
land.
hand that worked
issued
there.
one to the neighbor. I went through all of them
Yeah.
the other day, so I don't know who the neighbor is.
Yeah,
Because the only thing I've issued are people with like, except for like the ones that are coming in to pull a permit, you know, they're pulling permits to work in town. The only thing is like Netflix, electrical company, hair, roots and wings, and they're in
Yeah.
they're here.
But she also thought that the books didn't go back far enough to date to when the neighbor
Yeah,
lady
I've
probably
only
got it.
I've only got, you know, a couple years worth
So,
to
and-
see from.
but yeah, she's the one who is about 4 houses down from us, who passed her getting to us. She's the one who told us to come in and get it, because that's what she always did. And then, you know, she was like, well, you can't do that, you gotta go in front of the board, and that's why we came here. But yeah, her books only go back so many years, and it's been a few years since I know her dad and her were running it, and he got sick. I mean, she sold most of her canoes, but I mean, she's still got some that she actually still runs. But
See, I'm not even familiar with that.
I don't know.
the green ones, it's the green canoes. She's got the floating dock out on the river. It's pretty, and the camp.
You're talking about the creek, right? 'Cause
Creek,
we-
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I don't guess I know that particular person that was renting canoes. 'Cause
It's been before I was here, I don't
Yeah,
know.
she used to give me, she used to see with me.
Yeah, we just like to be able to do what everybody else is being allowed to do. You know?
How long do you think it will be before, like, we'll hear something back?
I can send a letter to them tomorrow, and then I feel like they'll probably come this week, or, I mean, I don't know that. I don't know Janet's schedule, but
Well, just to make it fair, could we get a temporary one until they decide? Because like you got the other guy who's open and running, you know, he's got his since February. Would we be able to get a temporary one until decisions are made?
I don't think y'all issue temporary licenses.
Never, you know.
Well, if you're not gonna issue one, are you gonna pull his then?
Hmm.
I mean, fair is fair.
I think
Somebody
we're in a
can't break the
situation
law
where we
and-
need
I don't,
to get
we're not,
with Linda
yeah.
and see how quick she can get down here and square it away, because we're gonna get ourselves in a situation either way if we don't try to find out across the board where we stand as far as issuing these licenses. That's my opinion. I don't know about the rest of the council.
Can I make a suggestion? If you go, if your property's homesteaded, take out part that you wanna do the canoe trail or kayaks or whatever on, that puts you in a different bracket. If it's under homestead, that's causing you a problem, I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, but we're not homesteaded.
Well,
Yeah.
reversing that.
Yeah.
We're not
Yeah,
homesteaded.
we're not homesteaded down there.
That's what I do suggest.
no, I mean, I can do that first. I can do it
Yes,
tonight before
but
I
that'd be
leave.
what I'd do.
I mean, I can,
I'd go and take the part out where I wanted to do
but I
my,
don't know.
even if it's a,
We already have separate
I don't know when
deeds.
they're
that's what I mean, if you got,
gonna come.
anyway, just a little strip where they can go walk down through there. you
Mhm.
know. It's not homesteaded,
Mm-hmm.
puts in a whole different category.
We're not homesteaded at all there.
Okay,
Yeah.
well then,
We can call first thing in the morning.
And then Candace can let you know.
Yeah, I
She
can call,
should
I
be
can
able to-
call Elizabeth as soon as I
Okay.
call them.
Okay, is there any chance we could just get a normal one issued? And then when it comes back, if they're approved, we're approved. If not, you're pulling mine and his at the same time to make it fair?
This is just getting out of hand here. I don't think that we should.
I don't think that we should do anything until we get with Linda,
That's what
is
I'm
my
saying. I
opinion.
just- Because we're gonna get in a bind here. You know, so.
I mean, and I apologize, and I know that.
I just figured it was
y'all-
worth asking.
Y'all haven't been in business because you haven't got one. Have you or have you not been to planning and zoning yourselves?
No, I called, and then she emailed me some stuff. I called and talked to her. She's over the phone.
Okay, Candace, will you get up with her first thing in the morning and see, and then let them know when she can come out? Maybe it'll be fairly quickly. Maybe we'll know
She might
something
be
by
able
the
to come
next
tomorrow,
meeting.
I don't know her schedule, she's like the only one for the county, so. But I'll do my best. Will you guys be there tomorrow?
I can be, yeah.
Well, I'll just call you when
Okay.
I hear from them.
Yeah, because she's not gonna wanna be there at like 9 a.m. We have to, the person who hit him in the car wreck has got like trial tomorrow, so, but I think it'll just be postponed. So.
Is there anything else on that?
Thank you guys for your time.
Number 5, request for a long-term lease.
That's Mr. Paget right there.
yes. My name's Richard Paget. Most people know me as Rick. You know, if they call me Richard, they're like, who is that? But anyway, my family's been here since 1865, so we've been around a few years. And what I'd like to do is discuss with you about taking the parts of the buildings back here that are not being used. I would need to do a walkthrough. One of my questions, have you had it tested for mold? or not. If not, then I'd have to do that first. You know what I'm saying? Cause that's gonna bring on a whole different can of worms, which anybody knows, you know.
Mr. Paget, if I may ask, what particular parts of the buildings are you talking about?
Well, like the old part, I was talking with the lady right here today, that's, I guess,
The haunted hallway, the old
Yeah.
Back hall.
back hall.
yeah, or, you know, if there's a couple of them, I would do 2 of them, because what I planned on doing was going in there, renovating them, which would take quite a bit, and turn them into 1 bedroom, 1 bath, like an assisted living facility, not where they're in the bed or any of that, but where they can ambulate. You know, they may need a little help with their medicine. I'd have someone on staff there all the time, 24/7. But I wouldn't want to invest a lot of money and only have a 10-year lease. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't, that's not good business. But if y'all want to do a long-term lease, and then the only thing I would ask is if you ever decided to sell it, I had first right of refusal. I've done the same thing with the old military base at Mariana. Same exact thing.
I don't know about that either.
I don't know if it's been tested for mold or not.
It has been, but
I mean,
it's
I
been
can
a
have
long
that.
time.
I would assume it has been, but if it hasn't, I would have that done.
The old classroom. It was middle school classroom. So I was telling Mr. Paget when he came in today to talk about it, that it's all pretty much gutted because it was the haunted hallway. The bathrooms are, every part from top to bottom would have to be redone. And maybe the roof, because I don't even.
Well, it looks like they've got a metal roof on part of it, I'd go ahead and finish that, so that problem is gone.
He just said that he was interested in doing like a very long-term lease, a 50 or 75-year lease, and I told him I would bring it, or so that he could put it on here so he could discuss it with y'all.
And you're talking basically an ALF.
Yes, ma'am, yeah, but it's gonna be
So it would be,
an upper class, you know what I'm saying? Is what it would be. Yeah, the rooms will be really nice. They'll have full showers, baths. They'll have the showers that are wheelchair accessible in case you need that, with the chairs in them that fold down. You know, if they need to sit down with the head, there'll also be a shower head that'll be directly over, as well as a wand, so that, you know, they need to bathe off sitting in a chair or whatever. I've done this before. I had one for 7 years. And
But
boy, that
doesn't this have to
really,
be, don't you have to
I
have?
really love to help the elder
Don't you have
people.
to have some kind of state regulate, I mean, you're just gonna do this and you don't know whether you'll be able to get a state license to run that or not?
No, that's not a big deal.
Okay.
Getting a state license is not. Getting the facility up to code, that's a
I
problem.
know.
You pass the fire, you pass the water, you pass the sewage. The license then is, you know, back years ago when I got one, it was $100.
Yeah, well, it's kind of-
You know, and I went for 6 years and never got licensed, because I was told that once I bought the first license, it was good forever. Well, then 6 years later, they called, the state lady called me and said, "Hey, Mr. Paget, you hadn't been re-licensed." I said, "No, ma'am. I was told I didn't have to." And she says, "Well, I'm coming today." I said, "No, ma'am, today's Wednesday. I take all my clients to the restaurant of their choice and I buy their meal." I said, "Now you come tomorrow, but not today." And she just thought that was unbelievable, you know. But anyway, I really love to help the elder, especially those that appreciate it. You get some, you know, that don't appreciate it, they gotta move.
Can you come up with kind of a written plan to give us?
Do what now?
Can you kind of come up with a written plan to give us?
Oh, yeah, no problem. I'd like to go through and do a walkthrough inspection. Then I'd like to get my mold guy to come in, probably be $500, whatever, I don't care about that. I'll have him do that. Then I'll sit down and do you a plan. Okay, and I'll go ahead and I've got an engineer on board. I'll have him kind of design out so you can see what the 3D project will look like. It won't have the finishing touches that I want to do, but it'll give you a real good idea of of what the facility's gonna look like. You know, and then it should be, I mean, I guarantee you it'd be worth a substantial amount of money, because I'm planning on doing it up right. Just like I would when I had my home, I cared for those people like I did my grandmother and grandpa. It's exactly how I did. And that's why that lady couldn't believe I went 5 years and never had an incident. I never had an incident over 7 years while I was in the business. So, you know, but I'm proud of that. I worked hard to make sure that those people were cared for like I wanted them to be cared for. That's it. You know, and I want to do something to help the community. Should I go ahead and tell them about down here, Joey, you think? I've got some container homes that I developed back in 15, and they're really nice. I take a container and I make a 1 bedroom, 1 bath. It's got a kitchen, a little kitchenette. It's got a roll-in shower, glass shower. I take the front of it and open it up. I put the PPG hurricane-proof glass in it, so it'll withstand 200-mile-an-hour winds. How I fasten it is I do a 12-inch hole. I do 8-inch H-beam down in there. I fill that up with concrete. It's 4 foot deep, and it sits about 3 foot above the ground, so you can get under to do your plumb if you have that. But anyway, that's just to give you an idea. And also because I didn't know if the sewage would take it here. Over there, what I want to do is on the Brock property, Hayward's property. There's 28 acres. I'd like to put 4 per acre. But I provide you all would provide the water. And I didn't know if your sewage treatment would handle that much. If it won't, I've got that part worked out too. I'll have big holding tanks, just like they do at St. Andrews Bay Park. I learned that many years ago. You have that pumped off every 2 weeks or whatever your time frame. Of course, it's got a gauge, tells you how full it is. Then you have to take it. You can't take it just any sewage treatment plant. You have to take it to Mariana, to a DEP treated facility. Panama City don't have one. Panama City Beach don't have one. Walton County don't have one. Jackson County's got one. You know, but that's just the way it goes. But I'm willing to do that. And then on these homes, I want about probably a third of them to be for veterans, and the other to be for the elder, or a mixture. You know what I'm saying? I want to, the grass will be cut, their electric bill will be paid, and they'll pay $100 a week. So they're gonna have their lights, their water, and their sewage, and the yards cut for $100 a week. Even on a limited income, that should help some people. You know what I'm saying? That's what my intention is over here on the Brock property. And I hope to have that going on by no later in October.
How many places on that?
4 per acre.
So 26 times 4, so 104. Roughly.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah. But that's the idea.
Yeah, so it's like 112 units.
And if you think you can provide for them, that would be great.
Between you and Pompey.
Mr. President, have you been to the county with any of this yet?
Oh, yeah, I've already got the county. I'm having my containers re-engineered now so that the county inspector, Mr. Whiffle's already on board with me. Yeah, I'll have that done probably in the next 2 weeks. Because when I told him what I was doing, I'll have my engineer put all this in the package. These things will be like hurricane proof. You know, the first one I'm gonna build, I'll be glad to show you a bit out at where I live with my mom. If you all want it, once I get it done, probably in the next 2 months, I'll welcome y'all to all come and take a look at it, so you can see what it's gonna be. That makes a big difference for me.
Yeah.
You know, I've been in construction long enough. I'm like, Joey, I can walk in and look and tell you what it's gonna take to do it. You know, but I can also tell you what it's gonna look like when I get done.
Are you talking about, you're talking about where Hayward's house is?
Yeah, yes ma'am, that 20-something acres in there.
38.
Did you already go to did you already go to the planning commission and all that for it?
I've talked to them about it, but I haven't, no ma'am, I haven't gone to them, but when I do, I'll have an engineered plan that'll go. I already know about, when you go to a zoning board, you need to have your plan complete. Because if it ain't, they'll eat your lunch, and not one time, if you get one back that ain't right, they'll do that every time to you. And I just say go ahead and get it right, get it really presentable, go over it 2 or 3 times, make sure all the bugs are out, then present it to them, and then it makes things smooth, that's all.
So this is later.
Yeah, yes ma'am, probably be around October.
So you've not actually purchased the property yet?
No, I'm in the contract with that. I've been talking with the guy about that.
So, Mr. Paget, I guess my question to you, and I'm listening to both of your ideas, but what you're asking of us right now is approval for you to go into our back hall and do an inspection and have somebody test it for mold at your expense.
Yes, ma'am.
No obligation to us if it falls through, if you.
No, I want to know what I'm dealing with back here. If it is mold, then, I've got to take into consideration disposal of it, tearing it out, some of that stuff gets pretty rough. Because we did a lot of it during Michael. You got to wear the suits, you got to have certain masks on.
Yes, sir, I'm very familiar.
Then you got to dispose of it in a place that'll take it. So anyway, that's just some of the things. I want to get a good idea of what my cost would be.
Michelle, is there any issues legally or insurance-wise with if we were to let him do that?
So, I think based on my understanding of the state of the structure at this point, we would really want to do this more of like a grounds lease. So, that just like the other leases, that would have implications for the city, and that you need to have a survey prepared so we have a legal description, but that area would no longer be tax exempt, so he would need to be responsible for the property taxes, and then he would also need premises liability coverage as well as property coverage for the structure. But other than that, it's not really complicated, no.
So, and my question is just for him to do a walkthrough and him spend the money to have it tested for mold. Is there any issues with if we were to allow him to do that? You don't need anything in writing or anything like that?
Yeah, because once we start construction, you'll have liability coverage. I mean, you'll have all the insurance coverage, I'm pretty sure, that you would want. And if I don't have, all it takes from me is a phone call, and I can have it.
Is there an issue with like the gymnasiums being used, the gyms being used? We've got children running around everywhere. Would that be an issue with having, because it's all together, I mean, they share an open courtyard, would that be an issue?
I don't think so. Unless there's some.
Whenever I look at that, I'll address that if that's okay. To have separated.
They all share basically a central courtyard, a central hallway. It's open air sidewalk, but I'm just thinking you've got people that 24 hours that come and go into that gym if the gym stays. You've got the gymnasium that's used for recreation and children, and I'm just thinking about the children and the facility all sharing the same space and not thinking ahead of any issues that might be.
Sure. Okay.
Well, and I don't know that, I don't know if you're familiar, we've been dealing with several lease issues already that we're trying to sort out.
Sure.
I don't have a problem myself with you going and looking at it and seeing. I think we're gonna have to have more meetings. I mean, whenever you get, what you're offering, what the city, we would have to work out years, the money, all that.
Right.
So, at this point, as far as I'm concerned, I don't have a problem with you setting up time and doing a walkthrough.
Okay. All right, well, I'll set up a day. Probably will be the first of next week, if that's okay. Most likely on Monday right now, I'm just thinking. And do that maybe Monday morning, 10 o'clock next week.
Okay.
if that would work.
As of right now, I'm still by myself. Miss Carolyn's coming Friday for me to do a funeral, go to a funeral. And I know she will not be here Monday.
Well, you
So,
tell me what
but she
day.
did say that she's probably coming Tuesday.
Okay,
We're playing it by ear. She had surgery, so we're just playing it by ear. But,
if you'll call and let
Okay.
me know Monday, then I'll
okay,
rearrange my schedule for Tuesday.
okay.
Okay? Yeah, that'll work.
I just don't want you to show up and then,
Can't go.
yeah,
Right.
Well, she said she's coming Friday.
she is coming Friday, so I can do the funeral.
Okay. Well, that's it. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Badgett. We
Thanks,
appreciate
Mr.
it.
Patrick. Your first name Ricky?
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Well, I said, if I say Richard, don't nobody know me, but if I say Ricky Badgett, oh, yeah, I know who that is.
How's your mom?
Yeah, she is doing good. She had her 90th birthday Friday. Saturday, they had a birthday party for her at the church, and there was over 200 there. So she is doing on top of the world.
Well loved then.
Yes. Thank y'all very much. Appreciate
Thank you,
your
Mr.
time.
Badgett.
He's bad talker.
Does anybody have anything else?
Sorry, because I'm hungry and I want to go home too. I got an email from Dale right at 5 o'clock, and he's got a concern. Just wanted y'all to be in the loop. We don't have any confidence in the right of way on Church Street. Okay? If we can find some legal maps, but everyone that we've tried to find so far on right of way, it's not existed. I'm just telling y'all that ahead of time. I did email him back and ask if we could stay in the same footprint, then is that gonna be an issue? But it was after 5, so he hasn't responded yet, and I'll keep y'all in the loop. But I did ask Michelle, and she said as long as we stay where we already have pavement, she doesn't see it being an issue.
Okay, good.
But just,
As long as the pavement's been there 4 years.
it's been there a long time.
Well,
Yeah, longer than that. Does anybody else have anything?
you have anything?
I have a question. It's not really.
I'm sorry, Nikki, I couldn't see you back there.
No, you're good. We had our first game at the sports place, so I had to get in the concession and then take 3 kids to practice, so I got in a little bit late. Would the council be okay with the rec doing, well, I have a lady who does pageants. It will not take anything away from the firecracker. It's basically like whenever Casey come in and wanted to do a Miss Vernon, it would only be for people zoned in, like, in the town of Vernon or go to Vernon schools. And she's wanting to just do this because it gives them a spot to go to, like, the peanut pageant and like state pageants and stuff like that, and it gets the name out there. All the opening, like the admissions would go, or the admission proceeds and the registration fees would all go to the rec department. And she was just wondering if that would be something that we could do. She's wanting to do it May the 4th. It's on a Saturday, and it would be at the community center. And like I said, I spoke with Candace and Jason was there, and it wouldn't take anything away from them doing the firecracker pageant this year. I know Miss Lori's daughter, or Lorraine's daughter, Miss Lori, she said something about doing the firecracker pageant. But I just told her that I would ask the council and just see.
So all the proceeds are going to Vernon Rec. So basically, you're just asking for a free day at the community center.
Basically, I guess. Like, I mean, I would pay or whatever, but it, like I said, it would all benefit the rec department.
I don't have a problem.
We don't have a problem with it.
It's just another event for the kids. I mean,
Yeah.
for the kids, I
You know,
think
we
it's
don't
good.
care.
And it's just, like I said, it'll be just for, like, people who go to Vernon schools or, you know, live with a Vernon zip code. It's the way she's got it worded and everything. If y'all are okay with that.
Yeah, just have her call Candace and schedule it.
Okay. And she'll probably deal with me most of the time, because I told her that if I got to go ahead, that I would be the front person, but
Thank you.
she's just gonna get, yeah, she's just gonna get the judges and like all of that stuff,
Okay.
because I have no clue how to do that.
Okay.
I
Thank
want
y'all.
to say thank you, Nikki, for getting everything together for the Easter event. I did not get to go because I was
Absolutely.
at work,
Very
but I heard
nice.
really nice things about it all.
Thank y'all.
Very
It will
nice.
be a little bit planned different next year, so.
It went very well.
Thank you.
Everybody had a good
I was
time.
reading about hot dogs.
Yeah. I love you, Miss Gwen, thank you. She wraps some of those. But thank y'all. Hopefully next year will be a little bit better.
Does anybody else have anything?
I met with Miss Jeannie on the ditch today. I'll talk to Jason about it tomorrow. I hope we wind up getting a permit for this one around here, to clean that one. But I'll get with Jason.
What
No.
did you talk about?
I don't give me no side jobs, I got a DEP inspection fixing to happen.
All I need is 5 minutes of your time.
You come out with Jeannie? The
Yeah.
front yard, we didn't talk to her.
I'm trying to get a permit for this ditch around here.
Which one?
Just tell me if you don't wanna meet with me, Jason. I just need 5 minutes.
What ditch we talking about?
Never mind.
By AT&T and the two that y'all done.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine, yeah. I thought you were talking about the front yard there.
No,
Okay, okay, yeah, you're good. Yeah,
But we do have a DEP inspection in 2
yeah.
weeks,
I got a
so
DEP, yeah.
Jason told me to leave him alone.
Okay.
And we all,
It's and they got,
Yeah, we will.
it's a new inspector, and it's a lot.
and we discussed at the last meeting, if I'm not mistaken, aren't we working on finding out if we actually own the ditches or not? Okay.
The front one on her yard was good on, I thought that's what you were talking about.
No,
I
you've
know
already
what you're
taken
talking
care
about.
of
Earth.
that, all the work over there has
Yeah,
already been
I-
done, it should be
I
done.
got you, I know what you're saying now.
All right, if nobody else has anything, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I think we'll do adjourn.
Second? Discussion? All in favor? Meeting adjourned.